Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When we were trying to get this podcast off the ground, we had so many questions. How do we record an episode? Where do we find background music? How do we get our show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other places that people like to listen? And where do we find advertisers? The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, distributing, and monetizing your podcast. And best of all, it's 100% free and 100% ridiculously easy to use. Anchor makes it simple to get up and running. You can upload and schedule your podcasts ahead of time. It publishes to all the major podcast platforms. You can easily check your stats. I could go on, but instead, why don't you go and get started? Go to anchor.fm/start to join the e-commerce minute and a diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. We can't wait to hear your podcast.
It's the E-commerce Minute, your daily dose of e-commerce, tech, and retail news with your hosts, Bart Mraz and John Suter. The E-commerce Minute is a production of Sumo Heavy, a digital commerce consulting firm in Brooklyn, New York, and Philadelphia. Find us on the web at sumoheavy.com. It's the E-commerce Minute, episode 299.
In today's episode, Porsche launches digital charging service for electric vehicles.
Electric cars are beautiful pieces of clean fuel technology. However, what happens when your vehicle needs a charge? Where do you go if you're away from home? Range anxiety is a genuine thing if you're not near your local charging station. Also, if you do find a station, is it free or do you need to pay? If so, are you on that network? Porsche wants to remove that pain of range anxiety by making the entire process simpler via their new smartphone app. Different logins for various operators are a thing of the past, the company promises. The Porsche Charging Service app is rolling out as the German automaker begins selling its electric vehicle known as Taycan, previously named the Mission E. The app shows drivers in real time the location and availability of electric charging stations. The driver can then get directions to the station via the car's navigation system. The app will let drivers find, use, and pay for charging regardless of location, network, or currency. Once the driver finds the station of choice, they pay via scanning an in-app QR code or an ID card that Porsche sends out upon sign-up. Porsche stores all payment info, so you don't have to worry about which payment methods the station may charge. The app is free, but users must pay a monthly subscription fee of €250 per month, about $2.95 in Germany, in addition to payments for any electricity used for recharging. The service is open to all drivers of hybrid or electric vehicles and not limited to Porsche vehicles. Users can register at Porsche.com/connect-store. The app is available now in 7 European countries with plans to expand to more countries soon.
John, it's Porsche.
Porsche.
Yeah, somebody's going to correct us, but whatever.
Porsche de Rossi.
Porsche. Anyway, so basically they're just doing what Tesla has built in their cars anyway.
Well, yeah, see, Tesla did it right because they set up their network and they just made it part of the cost of the car, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
But for the rest,
they also have it built in the maps and stuff like that, so you can just point to where you want to go, and it's like, hey, I can charge it here.
Right. Porsche is getting into the game a little later, and they've identified a pain point in that, as I called it, range anxiety, as everybody calls it, range anxiety is a real thing, and I think it's kind of limiting the growth of electric cars because people are scared, you know what, because they don't want to run out of electric. Mm-hmm. So if they map all the charging stations and unify the payment thing, that could solve a lot of problems for electric vehicle drivers.
Sure. I mean, listen, Tesla had that problem too, right? But in the US, they're so prevalent now, and their charging stations are everywhere. And electric charging stations are coming all over the place now. So the more they build, the more they'll have them out there. I mean, that's just given.
All right. So I did a little digging around in this, and I found one message board about electric vehicles. And the one thing was like, well, what's the big, why is this a necessary thing? Didn't we ever hear of point of sale? I think a lot of people are complaining that it overcomplicates it. Like, why can't I just go to a charging station? Don't charging stations have their own point of sale systems? Why can't I just pull out my credit card? Why do I have to tie in all of my stuff through Porsche and let them have my data and my payments?
Ah, yes.
You pay a subscription. Now, the other side of the coin is it's just easy. It's like if you're driving a car like that, you're not thinking about, it's like I just want to pull out my phone and be on my way.
To me, at least for me, and I'm a proponent of this kind of stuff where it's like I just pull up to the thing, put that in, and don't even have to bother it. It just knows who I am, where I am, all that kind of stuff. Like I think to me, that's easier. And I'm just, because who cares about privacy really?
Yeah. Well, because, I mean, part of this, they're not going to, I mean, I don't see this as a moneymaker. I just see this as like a perk for electric Porsche car owners. And, they get your data. They see where you're driving. They see how you're using the car. So it works for them. So one other comment was that why do we need charging cards? The car should identify itself over the charging cable like your cell phone does. I don't know about that technology. I don't know what that entails, but I think you're going to see the whole charging, once there's enough charging stations out there where you're not going to go, oh my God, where's the charging station? But in fact, let's just go to the charging station in the neighborhood. We're not there yet. I think there's going to be more of a unification of the payment systems and the networks, and maybe some consolidation in that field. Again, I don't know enough about it, but that's kind of with my brain. I think that's where it's going to go. I see the complaints as like, why is this needed? But the other point is it's just so much more convenient just to whip out your phone and pay for your volts. Pay for your volts.
Your volts.
All right. You got anything else?
Pay for your volts.
Pay for your volts. You got a video from Porsche on our website, ecommerceminute.co, as well as full show notes and past episodes. That's your e-commerce minute for today. We'll see you on the internet tomorrow.
Pay for your volts.
That's it for today's show. If you like the show, do us a favor and subscribe, or leave us a review on iTunes. And don't forget, you can now listen to the e-commerce minute on your Amazon device. Just add e-commerce minute to your flash briefing. And finally, if you have a comment or suggestion, or just want to say hi, find us on social media @Sumo Heavy.